Something happened in your home that most plant owners will never witness in their entire lives. And the strange part is, nobody can fully agree on what it actually means. Your snake plant bloomed. That tough, silent, seemingly indifferent plant sitting in the corner of your living room. The one that has survived your vacations, your forgetfulness, your worst window, and probably several months where you barely glanced at it, suddenly sent up a tall, slender stalk covered in delicate white flowers. And if you happened to notice it at night, you may have caught something even more surprising. A rich, sweet fragrance drifting through the room like jasmine and vanilla had quietly moved in without any invitation at all. If that happened to you, stop what you are doing. Because what you just witnessed is rarer than most people realize. There are plant owners who have kept snake plants for 15, 20, 30 years and never seen a single flower. Not one stalk, not one bloom. And they may go their entire lives without it ever happening. So if yours just bloomed, or if it ever has at any point, you have witnessed something that most plant owners only ever read about and quietly hope for. Most people who see it for the first time do not even know what they are looking at. They get nervous. They wonder if something is wrong. Some of them actually cut the stalk off before it opens all the way because it looks so unfamiliar, so unlike anything this plant has ever done before. And that breaks my heart a little, because what they are removing is the rarest, most extraordinary thing their particular plant will ever do. A once-in-years event that took everything the plant had to produce. Stay with me through this entire video. What I am about to share has real layers: science, biology, cultural history going back centuries, and a few details about this bloom that will completely change the way you see your snake plant forever. By the end, you will know exactly why this happened, what it tells you about your plant's health right now, what you should and should not do with the flower while you still have it, and how to give your plant the best possible chance of ever doing it again. And if you are new here, welcome to SereneGreen Gardens. Hit that subscribe button right now, because this is a channel for people who want to go deeper than surface-level plant tips. We go into the real story behind why plants do what they do, the biology, the history, the things most gardening videos never take the time to explain. And there is absolutely nothing surface level about what we are discussing today. Let's get into it. Hold and grow first, let's sit with just how rare this is, because I think most people underestimate it completely. The snake plant, known scientifically as Dracaena trifasciata, classified for years as Sansevieria, and called mother-in-law's tongue in half the households in America, is one of the most widely owned houseplants on the planet. You will find them in corporate lobbies, hospital waiting rooms, college dorms, and corner apartments. They grow in low light, they survive extended drought. They bounce back from what would kill almost any other indoor plant and still manage to look architectural and composed doing it. They have a reputation built almost entirely on toughness and survival, and yet most people who own one never see it bloom. Not once, not in a decade of ownership, not in two. You could live with 3 different snake plants across your entire adult life, water them and care for them and move with them and keep them for years, and never once see a flower stalk. Online plant communities with thousands of members discuss snake plants constantly without a bloom story surfacing, because for most people it simply does not happen. It is that rare. So when it does happen, when this plant that survives everything, this plant you may have half forgotten about in the corner, suddenly opens flowers at midnight and fills the room with a fragrance you had no idea it was capable of, something real happened. Something in your home, in the way you have cared for this plant, crossed a threshold that took years to build. The question is what that threshold was. And here is where the mystery actually begins. Because there are 2 completely opposite explanations for why a snake plant blooms, and somehow both of them are true at the same time. The first explanation is the one that shows up most often. Stress. Snake plants are native to the dry, rocky regions of West Africa. In their natural habitat, they endure long dry seasons, intense heat, and soil that drains fully between rains. Over millions of years living in those conditions, this plant developed a biological response that is both elegant and quietly heartbreaking. When conditions become difficult, when drought extends, when roots run out of room, when light shifts with the season, the snake plant reads those signals as a warning, and its response to that warning is to bloom. Think about what that really means. When this plant senses it may be running out of resources, it does not shut down quietly, it flowers. It channels every ounce of its stored energy into reproduction, into creating seeds so that its next generation can survive even if the current plant cannot make it through. That is not a sign of failure. That is one of the most elegant survival strategies in the entire plant kingdom. A living thing choosing legacy over self-preservation, choosing the future over the present. So when your plant becomes root-bound, when the roots have completely filled the pot and begin pressing against the sides, That pressure mimics running out of territory in the wild. When you allow the soil to dry completely between waterings, that dryness echoes a dry season in West Africa. When light shifts slightly with the changing seasons, the plant registers that shift at a cellular level. And sometimes in response to that precise combination of signals all arriving at once, it blooms. That is the stress theory. It is real, documented, and repeated across horticultural research for good reason. But here is what almost nobody talks about. It is only half the truth. The stress theory is half the story, and the other half is the more fascinating one. Experienced growers, people who have watched hundreds of snake plants across many years, have noticed something that does not fit neatly into the stress explanation. Some of the most beautifully, consistently cared for snake plants bloom. Plants that have never been neglected. Plants in ideal light with careful, measured watering and attentive owners who have done nearly everything right for years. And yet one spring morning, a stalk appears. What researchers began to notice was a second explanation that sits in direct tension with the first. A snake plant may bloom not because it is stressed, but because it is thriving. When it has been in the same spot long enough to feel completely settled. When the environment around it has been stable and consistent over a long stretch of time. When the plant has reached maturity, usually at least 3 years old, often considerably older, and has stored enough internal energy to shift from simply surviving into something more expressive and generous. The bloom in this reading is not a distress signal, it is the opposite. It is a plant that has been given enough time, enough peace, and enough consistency to finally become what it was always capable of being. And here is what connects both explanations so perfectly. Whether it blooms from stress or from thriving, both require the same underlying thing: stability over time. A plant that has been allowed to exist in one place without constant disruption long enough to build the resources needed to do something this extraordinary. The snake plant does not bloom for impatient owners. It does not bloom for people who move it constantly or repot it every season. It blooms for people who gave it time, even accidentally, and then mostly left it alone. Your home gave it that. And this is your plant's answer. Now, I want to tell you something about the flower itself that most people never hear. Because the physical experience of this bloom, the sensory reality of actually living with it, is far more extraordinary than a stalk with flowers suggests. The flowers open at night. That is not random. Back in West Africa, in its native habitat, the snake plant evolved over millions of years to attract night-flying moths as its primary pollinators. Specifically sphinx moths, which have long tongues built precisely to reach inside narrow tubular blooms. So your snake plant, sitting in the middle of an American home, is still following a biological clock that was set on another continent millions of years before your house was ever built. When the sun goes down, the flowers open. When the room gets dark and quiet, the plant releases what it has been holding all day. The fragrance is unlike anything you would expect from this plant. Jasmine layered over vanilla, with something honeyed and powdery underneath it all. It is surprisingly, almost shockingly intense for a plant that has spent years being completely silent. Some people walk into their living room at night and genuinely stop in the doorway because they cannot identify the source. They check the kitchen. They assume someone left a candle burning. And then they find it, that quiet plant in the corner, the one they sometimes forget to water, filling the entire room with one of the most unexpected and beautiful natural scents imaginable. During the day, the fragrance changes. It becomes more musky, almost grassy, less sweet. That shift is entirely intentional. The plant calibrates its scent to attract its intended visitors at precisely the hours they are active. A biological system running on a schedule older than anything we have ever built. The stalk itself grows several feet tall. Along it, clusters of narrow white or very pale green flowers open gradually over the course of several days, not all at once. And from those flowers comes sticky nectar, dripping slowly down the stalk in small glossy drops. This is completely normal. It is the plant's mechanism for attracting pollinators. Inside your home, a paper towel placed at the base of the pot and changed every day or two manages it without any fuss. There is also a question that comes up often. Will the plant die after blooming? The answer is no. Snake plants are not monocarpic, meaning they do not die after flowering. The individual rosette that produced the stalk may not grow additional leaves, but the mother plant continues. New pups, new growth, new life from the roots. Your plant is not finished. It is simply resting after the most extraordinary thing it has ever done. If conditions allow and the flowers are pollinated, even by hand with a small brush, they will eventually transform into small orange berries before the stalk finally dries back. Most indoor plants never reach that stage. But if yours does, that is something genuinely rare and beautiful to witness firsthand. Honorable. If this video is giving you something today, I want to ask you a quick favor. Hit the like button right now. It genuinely helps more plant lovers find this video at the exact moment they are standing in their living room wondering what just happened to their snake plant. And if you are not subscribed yet, now is the perfect time, because this is what we do on SereneGreen Gardens every single week. Now let's talk about what this bloom has meant to people across cultures and centuries. Because this is where the story takes a turn that even the most practical, grounded person tends to find hard to dismiss. In West Africa, where this plant originates, a blooming snake plant was never treated as an ordinary event. Families marked the date. In some communities, people gathered to witness the flowers opening at night, because the belief was that the plant had reached such harmony with the household that it was celebrating. And in doing so, it was announcing something, that prosperity and protection were not coming, they were already present, that the home had arrived somewhere good. In Brazil, the snake plant carries an entirely different name. It is called Espada de São Jorge, the sword of St. George. When it blooms, it is interpreted as a sign that the guardian of the home has completed his task. The household is protected. Whatever difficult season came before, it has passed, and the battle is won. In feng shui practice, which has become genuinely woven into American interior design over the past few decades, the snake plant is considered a powerful source of ascending yang energy. Its vertical leaves point upward, lifting the energy of whatever space they occupy. Practitioners place it near entrances and in heavy, stagnant corners, but when the plant blooms, the interpretation shifts entirely. A blooming snake plant in feng shui does not mean good fortune is on its way. It means good fortune has already arrived. The plant is simply confirming what the energy of the space already knows. You do not need to hold any of these traditions as literal truth for the pattern they all share to be meaningful. Culture after culture, separated by oceans and centuries, noticed the same thing, that snake plants seemed to bloom in spaces where something good was happening. And what they may have been recognizing, before science had the language for it, was simply this: a plant in bloom is a plant in balance. And a space in balance tends to be one where people are living with intention and care. Science and tradition arrived at the same conclusion from completely different directions. That is not coincidence, that is a truth worth sitting with. So what do you actually do right now, while the bloom is still happening? The most important instruction is straightforward. Do not cut the stalk while the flowers are still open. Let the bloom complete its natural cycle without interference. The flowers will last anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks. During that time, check the nectar situation, keep the area at the base clean, and let yourself genuinely slow down and experience something that most plant owners never get the chance to see. If you can, make a point of sitting near the plant in the evening when the fragrance is at its strongest. Light is low, the house is quiet, and your snake plant, this plant famous for doing nothing dramatic, is filling the room with something extraordinary. Take that in. If small flies are drawn in by the nectar, a sticky trap placed near the plant handles it without any chemicals close to the flowers. Once the flowers have faded and the stalk begins to dry and brown from the tips downward, that is your moment. Take clean scissors and cut the stalk at the base as close to the soil as you can get without disturbing surrounding leaves. Cut cleanly, do not pull. The plant will redirect everything back inward. Many growers notice a quiet but steady period of new leaf growth in the weeks after the stalk is removed as the plant channels its energy back into roots and foliage. Will it bloom again? Possibly. But not on any schedule you can predict or force. It may take another season. It may take a year or more. Snake plants bloom when everything aligns again, when the conditions that produced the first bloom are recreated and held long enough. Your job is simply to keep creating that environment and trust the plant's timing. Here is what actually gives your snake plant the best possible chance of blooming. Light is the foundation of everything. Your plant needs real, meaningful brightness. Bright indirect light for at least 6 hours daily near an east or south-facing window is ideal. What matters nearly as much as the intensity is the variation. Slightly more light naturally in spring and summer, slightly less in winter. That seasonal rhythm is a biological cue the snake plant evolved over millions of years to respond to. Without it, the internal clock that governs blooming often stays quiet. Water with real discipline. Let the soil dry completely between waterings. Not mostly dry, but completely dry. In summer, that typically means every 2 to 3 weeks. In winter, once a month or sometimes less. The slight controlled drought that results from this discipline is one of the most reliable biological triggers for flowering behavior in this species. Most people unintentionally prevent their plant from ever blooming simply by watering it too lovingly, resist the urge to repot too soon. When roots begin appearing through drainage holes and the pot feels firm and dense, that is your sweet spot. Keep the plant there through one full growing season. That snug, slightly pressured root system is speaking the same language as drought-hardened soil in West Africa. The plant hears it. In fall, let the plant experience a slight temperature drop at night, around 60 degrees near a window, without any harsh cold exposure. Consistent climate-controlled homes often eliminate that seasonal temperature signal entirely without realizing it. Giving the plant a chance to feel the season turn can be a quiet but meaningful trigger. And finally, patience, not weeks, seasons, sometimes years. This plant operates on a timeline that belongs entirely to itself. The only thing you can do is create the right conditions and then step back and let the plant decide. And Fengroligs. Before I let you go, I want to leave you with something that has stayed with me since I first went deep into studying why this plant does what it does. The snake plant spends most of its life in complete silence. It does not perform for attention. It does not drop leaves dramatically when neglected or overwatered. It simply stands there day after day doing its quiet work, filtering the air, absorbing whatever the room around it gives, waiting with a patience that feels almost impossible for something living. And then one day, on its own timeline, for reasons that science can partially explain and that cultures across centuries have been trying to name, it blooms, at night, in the quiet, with a fragrance that fills the room while most of the house is asleep. I keep coming back to something in that image. A living thing that survives every difficult season, every period of neglect, every shift in light and temperature and attention, and then when everything finally lines up, uses all of that stored patient energy to create something fragrant and beautiful and completely unexpected. Not for survival in that moment, just because it finally could. There is something quietly instructive in that, if you are willing to let it be. The snake plant did not rush. It did not demand better conditions or more sunlight or a bigger pot. It simply waited, built itself quietly from the inside, and then bloomed on its own terms in its own time. That is what happened in your home, in your space, in the middle of your ordinary life. And however you choose to understand it, through biology, through ancient tradition, or simply as something worth slowing down to notice, that bloom was not accidental. It was built towards slowly and quietly over a very long time. Now I genuinely want to hear from you. Has your snake plant ever bloomed? And here is the question I am genuinely most curious about. Was something changing in your life when it happened? A new chapter beginning? A long, hard season finally ending? Something shifting that you could not quite put a name to yet? Drop it in the comments below. I read every single one, and I have a feeling the stories people leave here are going to be worth reading for a very long time. If this video gave you something today, like it, share it with someone who has a snake plant and absolutely no idea what just happened to it. And subscribe to SereneGreen Gardens if you are not already part of this community. There is so much more to come, and I am really so glad you are here. I will see you in the very next one.